black or white, male or female, rich or poor, gay or straight. What's the difference? Number 14 and number 41 are on a mission to improve the unity of the world, one person at a time. Welcome to the 14 and 41 Unity Show.
Hello, I'm Alexis Hornbuckle, number 14.
And I'm Matt Gersper, number 41.
And I'm Damien Argrett, number 44. And we are different, but made from the same stuff.
Right on. Welcome, Damien. So let's get started right away. Tell our viewers and listeners about the exciting things you're doing to contribute to the world these days.
Well, first and foremost, I think my biggest contribution to date is probably my newborn son, Case and Elijah. So I want to put that out there. What can I say, man? I'm Damien Argrett, grew up in New York City, moved down to North Carolina when I was 12 years old, went to high school and college down here in North Carolina, played professionally for 5 seasons in Europe. Currently, I own a basketball training business called BOBW Basketball Training, and I recently just started a nonprofit called BOBW Cares, where we go out into community and just have different events for the homeless and just kids in the area who need just a little helping hand.
Wow, that's fantastic. Let's go back in time a little bit. So what were you doing back in, let's say, 2010?
2010. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I just finished playing professionally, and in all honesty, I was just kind of trying to feel my way out in the world and just really see, where I wanted to be at as far as living and where I wanted my next moves to be. Which is actually where I started the venture with the basketball training. Cool,
very cool. And let's go 10 more years before that. So we're clear back in the year 2000. What were you doing back then?
Goodness. Oh man, I was just starting college, I believe, and I believe I was majoring in pre-med, at least for one day. I majored in pre-med for one day, and then after that, I went to my advisor and immediately told her to change me out of the pre-med, major, because I wasn't going to do that, and then change my major to pre-law. So I was still kind of all over the place.
Very good. Time changes after 20 years. Think back, Damien, if you could, and can you ever had imagined that you'd be on something called the 14 and 41 Unity Show today, doing your part to improve the unity of the world 20 years ago when you were in the mindset you were just telling us about?
Yeah. Oh man, Matt. I mean, it's hard to say, because I would like to think of myself as always being a good person, thoughtful person, someone who was fairly educated when it came to, racial relationships and stuff like that. So I would like to say, yeah, I think I would be definitely behind something like this. Now, me talking in front of people and all of this, I probably wouldn't have done that. I would have been the guy more so in the background.
There you go.
And I can attest, he's definitely a great person, great guy, stand-up guy. Dave, I want to ask you, what was your initial response when you first heard about RAFRU?
Oh man, obviously you introduced me to Matt, and I was blown away by the idea. I think it's a fantastic idea that you guys were able to create. I think it's something that we need as athletes, especially retired athletes going out in the world, just in different avenues and just trying to figure out where we want to be and how we need to make sure we're setting ourselves up appropriately so that we're not just successful, but we're also giving back and, understanding that race does play a big part in this world. And, just bridging that gap, obviously with basketball, I'm able to bridge that gap with race, with sports. So I just think the idea that you guys came up with is phenomenal, and I think it's going to go extremely far.
Awesome. What do you think about like the website, our team gear, the logo, and what are your hopes by sharing your unity story and joining our mission to help improve the unity of the world one person at a time?
I mean, well, as you know, that this logo that you guys have was my favorite logo when you guys were showing us all the logos. I was just a big fan of it. It just incorporates everything, I think. It encompasses everything. So, the team store has some amazing stuff on there, from the T-shirts to, the hoodies, the different colors. You got the Tennessee, swag in there as well. You were able to throw that in there. I just love the gear. Website's real clean, detailed. It's just giving players like myself an opportunity to share their stories on that type of platform, I think is extremely important, especially in this day and time.
Oh, yeah.
Great. Alexis?
No, you got that, man. I was just going to say I agree, and I'm thankful that, number one, he was a part of the process in some way, especially when it came down to the logo, and the gear. That's all Matt. That's kudos to Matt over there.
It's been really interesting, all the different contribution. Be honest with you, it's been easy because everybody's been, just whenever we needed something was there, and it's just been great. Damien, I loved your Unity story. Please give the listeners the highlights of your story, but just enough so they'll want to rush out and read it, and not enough that they won't need to read it. And as you're telling the story, think about maybe the number 1 or 2 messages that you hope to convey to anybody who's reading your Unity story.
Well, Matt, like you said, I don't want to tell too much because I definitely want you guys going to the website and read. It's my story. Obviously everyone has their own story when it comes to race, but long story short, I was actually in the area going to a store to run an errand. Ended up bumping into a friend of mine. He was in his vehicle. I was outside the vehicle talking to him, and lo and behold, a stranger, drives by me, and, he has some choice words, and, I'll pretty much just leave it at that. But for me, sharing my story is extremely important because I believe the way that I handled it would be different from the way someone else handled it, or the way someone think I should have handled it. But just being a mature person, someone who has been around the world, obviously playing professional basketball, and I've had the opportunity to just experience so many different, races and cultures. I was able to handle that situation a lot better than I would have been in my 20s. I'll tell you that much, definitely. So, definitely please go to the website, buy some merch, obviously, get your logo stuff, man, and, check out my story because I really believe a lot of people are going to be able to relate to my story, and, it's going to definitely raise a lot of eyebrows as well.
I agree. So one more question about your Unity story, and I want you to think about your experience since you started thinking about writing it, and then you actually put pen to paper and you got it down on paper, and now you're reflecting back on something you've put out into the world about really, I think it's your journey of becoming a role model in your community and working to impact lives, mostly of the youth, I believe, in hopes that they will create the change you hope to see in the world. So talk about the reflection of your doing this Unity story, what it means to you.
Definitely. Obviously when you guys approached me about writing this story, obviously we living in days and times where there's just a lot of racial tension going on in the world. So I was able to reflect back on different periods in my lives when I, was, racially profiled or whatever the case may be. So I wanted to make sure I pinpointed a story that I felt like share how we all are going through this, have to, obviously respond negatively or, whatever type of way. So when I started writing the story, it just really brought back a lot of memories and feelings that I had, because that day I was actually going to a local high school to give out a scholarship, an annual scholarship that I usually host. And, as I said, the guy has some choice words for me, but what I was thinking about was, this could possibly be the father of a kid that I train, so, when I have my interactions with my kids, I'm making sure I'm positive, I'm caring, I'm loving, like I treat all of my kids the same way. So I'm hoping whatever that, dad is trying to instill in his kid, I'm able to, not force, but, share my love and share my passion and share, the way I care about people, no matter what their color is with that kid. So, they won't be a reflection of their parents or their father, to say the least.
Awesome. Really great. So let's take a quick commercial break so we can spread some love for our sponsors, and then we'll come right back and pick up where we left off. Mr. Happy Living here. I love good things made by good people. That's why I love Casandrino's oil, made from olives soaked in the Grecian sun for months and picked by hand with care. You'll love it too. Grab a bottle today and get 50% off your first subscription order. Shop the World Wide Web at casandrinos.com. That's KASANDRINOS.com. Use coupon code HAPPYLIVING50 and I'll donate 15% off every order placed during the month of September to WYTV7.
Damien, I have a quick question for you. I think this might be one of the most important questions. How have the lessons you've learned as an athlete, and particularly the unity lessons, helped you become a better, more successful person?
I think in college, obviously, just depending on where you go, you're around a variety of people, of all races and backgrounds, and you're playing with these guys, but not only playing with these guys, but you're living with them. You're going to school with them. You go down in the trenches with these guys. You're waking up at 6 a.m. in the morning with these guys. So, for me, like basketball has just always been that thing that has brought me closer together to people. It's helped me become a better person and more understanding to different cultures and different backgrounds as well, especially playing professionally overseas. I was in countries where, there were over 100,000 people in the city, and me and my teammates, we may be the only African Americans and, Africans, Black people in the whole entire city. So you gotta just learn how to move differently. You gotta learn how to respect other people's cultures, because, you can't just, call up your buddies and say, hey man, I'm having trouble over here, come over here. Like, you're 12 hours away in a whole different, country and stuff. So just being mindful of that and just understanding that no matter what our differences are, we all bleed the same blood, we all breathe the same air. So, we have to come together and we have to love each other and care for each other now more than ever.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So, Damien, tell us a cherished story about teammates from one of your favorite teams, so pro or college, whatever. Just think back and pull out one of your favorite unity stories.
Oh, man. Well, I would probably just use teammates in general. It was 2005, I believe, my senior year. And just that group of players, we were extremely close to each other. It was crazy, but I can remember one morning us, waking up to go to a 6 a.m. workout. We had been out partying and stuff. And so we come into the gym and our coach has on a scores table just a spread. And I'm not talking about a good spread either. It's 6 a.m. in the morning, mind you. This guy has Nestle Quick Bars, Honey Buns, Nutty Bars, Mountain Dew soda, like all of this stuff. And it's like, yeah, you guys get some, because I think he found out we were out, partying and weren't, supposed to be. So, obviously we all just, are eating and stuff. And then he goes on to proceed to have us run like 10 suicides, I think, 10 sevens. It was just crazy. I think like 4 of us was in the corner throwing up in a trash can, like guys were on the floor and everything. And our coach definitely taught us a lesson that day. But we got it done. We helped each other through the situation. It was just crazy, man. I definitely remember that story.
And see, to me, that just creates a bond between a group of people, doesn't matter what race or creed or color or where you came from or how much money you have. None of it makes a difference. You guys did that together, and it just creates this unity, right? So when we're all working on in the same direction for the same thing. Give us another story.
Man, let me think. Well, I'll say this. I know the first time, my first time playing in Europe, I was in Germany, and I can remember, walking to the store. And this was one of those countries where I was one of, few Black people in the country. And I'm walking down the street, and I can remember just some guys behind me, I don't know what they were saying. They were talking German. So I'm walking into the store, stuff come out the store, and these guys are still out there just kind of talking and stuff. But my teammate happens to drive up, and he gets out of the car, and, we're kind of talking and stuff, and he don't know that these guys are like, talking to me, and he hears the guys because obviously he's German. So, the guys go on to, say a couple other things, and then my teammate comes to my defense out of nowhere. I don't know what's going on. He's like, says something in German, but it wasn't too nice. And those guys actually ended up apologizing to me. I don't know to this day what they said, but they ended up apologizing to me. My teammate made them apologize to me, and then me and my teammate actually ended up going to get a bite to eat and stuff. And me and that guy are still close to this day. So that was actually like my first encounter with that guy as well. My teammate, like I hadn't known him, but he knew who I was because obviously I was, 6'8" American in Germany. Like he knew I was on his team. So in his city. But yeah, I thought that was just awesome. Like, man, this cause I don't know what could have happened. Those guys could have done anything, but God, intervenes in the right times and stuff. And, that was definitely one of those right times.
So I was going to ask you to tell the audience, you're 6'8" and Black and walking down the streets of Germany. I guess people took notice.
I was in Cuxhaven, Germany too. Cuxhaven, Germany.
So had you been out of the country before you signed on to play over there?
I actually took my first flight when I was in college, my junior year. We flew to Bakersfield, California. My college team, my junior year, made it to the Elite Eight, which is basically like the Final Four in Division I basketball. So that was my first flight. My next flight was to Germany. So I know that's crazy, like just to go from one extreme to that extreme, but yeah, I had never flown out of the country before then.
So there must have been quite a bit of fear going to a new place in a new country. Yeah?
I would say there was a lot of fear, but you know how you can, just kind of hype yourself up and just make yourself think that everything is going to be okay. But then when you actually get in a situation, like you're terrified, that's where I was. Like, I was like, oh man, this is nothing. I'm going overseas. I'm telling everybody, see you in 10 months. I get over there and I'm homesick. I'm like, oh my goodness, can I even do this? Like, this is a different country, like different culture. Like I'm one of the only Black people over here. Like, how can I survive? But, like I said, man, just, it doesn't matter what your race is or anything like that. I just met some phenomenal people, and they just helped me, become comfortable. They helped me settle in and adjust. And it just made my experience that much better.
So one last thing here, and I'll toss it over to Alexis. I'd like you to make a prediction out of all the teammates that you can think of and you've been talking about and remembering here. Who's going to be the first to follow your lead and share their unity story with us?
I would say out of all of my teammates, because I refer back to that 2005 story, I'm definitely going to probably have my friend Matt Austin share his story, because this guy was pretty much the guy in college who everybody loved. Like, he had the golden brown curly hair, the tan skin, like the girls, like everybody loved this guy. He was just that guy who you gravitate towards. So I know he has some great stories that he could share with you guys as well.
Sounds like you're talking about my college days.
I saw your picture, so.
All right, Alexis.
Oh man, great stuff. Damien, it's time for the fun part of the show. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fire off a couple of rapid fire questions, couple minutes. I'm going to just, take the lead. All right. So I need you to be able to answer these questions within like 3 to 5 seconds. Like the first answer that comes to your head, I need it. Okay.
You got it.
We're going to start off simple. What was the first name you came up with for your son, before you settled on Kaysen?
Jamal.
What's your favorite sport outside of basketball?
Golf.
That's a fact.
I'm not good though, but I love golf.
What's your least favorite thing to do?
Cook.
What's the most romantic thing you've done for your wife?
I actually bought her some roses a week ago, so I'll be on it.
All right. Who's your current favorite NBA player?
Jamal Murray. He's incredible. Plays for Denver. I like him.
Yeah, he is incredible. What was the first job you ever had?
Worked at Chick-fil-A.
If you can go back into time 10 years ago, what would you tell yourself?
Hang in there. Everything's going to be okay. Stay the course, stay prayed up, because if you do that, things are always going to be all right. Keep your faith, stay true to yourself.
What's one of your favorite quotes that motivate you?
Keep grinding.
I like it. All right, D, I'm going to throw one more question out. Let's make it a good one, too. Oh, you know what? What was your favorite country to play in and why?
Okay, one quick thing. I'm going to go back. My least favorite thing is changing diapers, because that's what I'm doing now with my newborn. But what was your question again? Yeah.
What was your favorite country to play in and why?
I would say the Czech Republic. I had a great experience there. I played 2 seasons there. I was the MVP the first season I played. My second season, my friend ended up coming over there to play with me. But it was just a great experience. The culture was amazing. The city, so much so many historical things going on in the city. I just really enjoyed my time there and met some great people there. So I would say Czech Republic, Prague.
Yeah, I played in the Czech. I played a game in the Czech in the Euro Cup, but I didn't get to go to Prague, and I was like right there. So I heard it was very beautiful though. And I know I said last question, but one just popped in my head because I think the people need to know this. What was your first reaction when you knew you were being inducted into the Pfeiffer Hall of Fame?
I was shocked. I think that's the biggest thing. But honestly, I knew it would come. I just didn't know when. But it was just, a great honor. And it just, all the hard work I put in all those years, the sacrifices I made, my belief, my faith, all that stuff just kind of collided to that moment. And, it was definitely a true blessing and something I'll never forget.
That's awesome, man. So before we go, do you have any parting words or comments for our listeners? Anything that you want them to know about you or what you're doing and how they can help out?
With BOBW Cares, as I said, we host several ventures throughout the year, including back to school giveaways. This Saturday, we're actually doing a food drive in Charlotte, and we're going to go out and provide some food to the homeless. And I don't ever feel like we're helping anybody out. I think we, have to take care of each other. That's one of the most important things, and we all go through tough times. So for me, I definitely would love people to know that we're doing that type of stuff. You could go bobwbasketball.com. We have a tab on that page for BOBW Cares Incorporated. You guys just continue to do the great stuff you're doing. I love even being a small part of it. the idea is just mind blowing that anybody, especially you two people who I've gotten a chance to know and respect greatly, have been able to come up with this together. And I just look forward to this thing just, spreading like wildfire, because I'm definitely, telling everybody I could tell about it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So over the next couple of weeks, Damien's going to be responding to comments, questions, and remarks from listeners to the show and also readers of his Unity story. At the end of those 2 weeks, he's going to pick the person he feels was the most impacted, and he or she will get to win a free, watch for it, RAFRU Team Gear, a t-shirt or a hoodie. And so folks, now it's time for us to wrap this one up. If you're inspired by today's show, please donate what you can to WYTV7 so we can keep bringing you amazing retired athletes like Damien, all working together to improve the unity of the world. Or you can just buy tons of olive oil and I'll do the donating. Thank you, number 14, I say, number 14 and number 44. Damien, I'm inspired by your passion to be a leader in your community and especially to be a mentor, helping young people achieve their full potential. It's awesome. I want to thank you, WYTV7, for hosting and promoting our show. A special thank you to our sponsors for the entire month of September, Casandrino's Oil and Happy Living. Remember, the more you buy, the more I'll donate. So stock up and tell your friends to buy some too. And most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. Go to RAFRU.com and you can read Damien's inspiring Unity story. You'll also find links to websites and social media and all things Damien Argrett. Find him, friend him, engage with him, and maybe you'll win a free t-shirt while you're at it. So from Alexis and Damien and me, we love you and we want you to be united, not divided. We do what we do here at Retired Athletes for Radical Unity to inspire you to join us in improving the unity of the world, one heart at a time. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper, you're awesome, and this is the 14 and 41 Unity Show. And we're out.
Black or white, male or female, rich or poor, gay or straight, what's the difference? Number 14 and number 41 are on a mission to improve the unity of the world, one person at a time.